Rabbi Akiva became who he was because of his wife, and she never complained. She always encouraged him to go learn. I'm who I am because my incredible wife, Chava.
And I kept telling him, I was like, I don't want a name because it sounds good or this and this. I was like, I have to have true connection, and it has to be something that connects to me.
Let's talk about our names, because I think that kind of
Ties into that.
ties into this. And so
Mhm.
obviously when you become a Jew, you get the chance to also change your name as well.
Mhm.
And that was something that we've been looking forward to for a long, long time, is the opportunity to change our names.
Yeah.
Just because the name represents so much. The name represents your essence. It represents your identity,
Yeah.
represents your destiny, where you're going, all those things. That's what the name is.
Mm-hmm.
And we never really realized the power of names
We did not.
until we started, getting around this Jewish life thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you want to start? You start with your name and kind of how
Do you
you.
want to start with ours individually or our kids?
Let's start with the kids.
Yeah. Start with our
Let's
kids.
start with the kids. So, let's start from youngest to oldest, or oldest to youngest.
Oldest to youngest.
All right. So our daughter was formerly known as Layla Hart. It sounds weird saying their
Their
old
old
names
names.
now, because like it's been a couple months now since we've been like saying all their new names. So, so she was formerly Layla Hart.
And can I say something?
Yeah.
Because people ask us, actually, our kids were born with actually Hebrew names. We didn't know that. Like, we didn't, because Layla is like night, right? Lila. It's the same thing. It's Layla. And people are like, well, she could have just kept that. But our kids, we understand with a new neshama is a new you.
Right.
And so having a name is so powerful because there's new things that come attached to these names when you have that new neshama, that new soul. So that's why they wanted to change their names as well. And then we changed like some of our little ones were born with Hebrew names, but we might have changed like their middle name or, a couple of names. So we'll
Yeah.
talk about that.
And so interestingly, just thinking about the power of the Hebrew language, the word neshama, it's spelled nun, shin, mem, and hey. Those two letters in the middle, which is a shin and a mem, it actually spells shame, which actually means name in Hebrew, right? So the neshama actually it represents the essence, the name of the person. It holds the name, the shame of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So that nun, shin, mem, hey, right? That is within that neshama holds the real you. And it's a beautiful thing.
That is beautiful. So
So,
yeah, like we were saying.
wanna go
So
on?
yeah, so our 16-year-old, she picked the name Leia and Nava. Now we know that Nava, obviously, it means beautiful, and she didn't pick it for just saying beautiful, but it's who she is. Her essence is not just exteriorly beautiful. It's internal. Like her essence is beautiful overall, and I think you can, if you get to know her and you get around her, you see how overall beautiful that she really is.
Yeah.
And Leia, so it was interesting when she picked Leia Nava, she literally chose that like right before going into like literally dipping into the mikvah. It was a couple of names that she was, really thinking about, but she said Leia a long time ago and it stuck with her. And then I think it just kind of like finalized when we got to the mikvah. And, she talks about how she doesn't even quite understand of fully of why she chose the name. Like she understands the power of Leia, like the name and who she was. And I think that it's something that just her and Neshama just gravitated to, and that she will have this understanding as she continues to grow to know why she really fully chose that name. And that's something that I would want her to personally
Yeah.
share herself
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
to people.
I agree with that too. But I think it's interesting because Leo is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that really stands out to me
Oh, I know
with
one thing.
Leia is that she knew how to pray,
Yeah.
right? She was actually destined to marry Asaph.
Yeah.
When she found out that that was her destiny, she prayed and she cried out and she's talked to Hashem every single day, right? And that allowed her destiny to change because she understood the power of tefillah, you
Mhm.
know, and so yeah, I think that's powerful.
Yeah. No, I'll just leave it as that for
Okay.
her.
Cool. So our son, he used to be Jaden. So Jaden is now Bezalel Moshe.
Mm.
And so Bezalel, he was actually the the architect, the builder of the Mishkan, the tabernacle. And my son, he connected with that because he loves building. Right? He's a builder. He's very creative and he
Yeah,
loves putting things together. And so when he learned that that's what Bezalel did, and he was gifted with all those different ideas on how to put things together, he was like, ah,
that's me.
that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then he resonates with Moshe as well.
Mm-hmm.
One thing he says, when I think about Moshe, I think about a leader. Moshe is a leader, right? Those were his words. And obviously there's so much also within who Moshe Rabbeinu was, but for him to say, Moshe was a leader. And that's one of my favorite people in the Torah. Beautiful.
Did you want to share what Betzalel, the meaning of what that
Ah,
means? Because
yes, yes.
that's what's powerful.
Yes, so thank you. So Betzalel actually means in the shadow of God,
Mm-hmm.
in God's shadow. And I just think that's so powerful. And I was sharing with him one day. I was sharing with him how it's beautiful that he picked that because that's who he is, and he gets a chance to live in God's shadow
Yeah.
for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that's one of the brachot that we give him over his life is that he lives in the shadow of God all the days of his life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So next we have
Oh yeah, we have Malka.
Mocha
Okay.
Rivka. So she used to be London Royal Heart. What a princess, what a royal name, right? So we changed her name to Malka, and the reason is because Malka means queen, and we've noticed as she's just been kind of growing up, she's a princess. She kind of walks around here and like her identity, her essence is royalty.
She's so royal. I
And
mean, I'm gonna give you guys just an example of like how her name just fits her. And this was this was even before us converting. Her essence is that's why we named her. We didn't even know this though, but it's so I think through her, we you can really see and understand the power of names when we named her London Royal.
Yeah.
And that was literally who she was royalty.
Yeah.
When she goes to bed, she lays her blanket, like puts it on her pillow, like does like this whole like spread out, like makes it soft and like pats it out. And like she's just very just like royalty. Even like one time I was putting her in the bed and she goes, "The room is a mess. Did Aaliyah do this?" And she's like, "I can't sleep in this." And so she starts picking up the toys and cleaning up. So she's just very, very royal, right? And it fits her so much. It really, truly does.
Yeah. So that's so Malka Rivka, and so we chose Rivka because Rivka was obviously another one of the matriarchs, and but she understood tefillah. She was kind, and she represented someone who was modest, right? And so we wanted her to be able to
Carry
be able
that
to
essence.
carry that essence too. So now we have Aliyah Zipporah. She used to be Aliyah Danielle. So let's tell that story a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
So of course, she could have kept that all too, right? People even said I could have kept the name Danielle, but that again, that was the old me. I want new, right? I know I'm getting a new neshama, so I want new everything.
Yeah.
And same with her. It came down to like the last minute of just really thinking about for her And it's funny that little things were happening to keep I mean, to change her middle name because Aaliyah was what she was born with, right? And but we changed it from obviously Danielle to Zipporah, and she literally she hums herself and make like she sings when she goes to sleep. That's how she like soothes herself to sleep. So we were like, how perfect.
Yeah.
Zipporah, it means bird. And that's something that she does. She loves like singing and humming and
Yeah.
things like that. So it fits her very, very well.
And the name of Leah, to be honest with you, we didn't even really, when we gave her the name Aaliyah, we didn't even really know too much of what it meant. We knew that it meant to ascend, to go up, but
We didn't know
that
about
was,
making Aliyah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't know about making Aliyah or anything like that. So well, I feel like her name really holds a lot of power.
Hmm.
And obviously, like I believe having the name Aliyah, I feel like her whole life is going to be an ascent, right?
Her
And
birth story
yeah.
even exemplifies what her name means. It's amazing. And that's a whole nother story. What happened to literally what her name means is what happened before giving birth.
And then we have Basia. Basia, she was
Haya.
born Basia. It was Basia. What was her middle name?
Hava.
Oh, it was Basia Chava Heart. That was what we gave her. And but we just love just the name Basia. It was, daughter of God, and that's we knew that she was, we knew that she was just this special little gift, and we like, oh, this is like we want you to be God's daughter,
Mhm.
just to really have just a beautiful close relationship with Hashem.
And just Basia's story and everything. Just it was
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
it's very similar to what we felt. I felt like it just connected so much to our journey and
yeah,
for her too. And then obviously she was born Hava, and that's my name Hava, but we didn't know all the technicality, like the things like you don't name your child the same name as the mother, living mother,
yeah,
right? So there was things like that we didn't know. And so it was okay. So guess what? We got a second chance to switch that up. And we ended up doing Haya, which means life.
Basia Chaya, yeah.
And she's full of life and she's a gift.
Full of
And
life.
she like Haya fits her even better because she has this just peace, calmness about herself that it fits her so much.
But when you also think about Basia, or Batya,
Mhm.
you're right, her story kind of took place in the water.
Yeah.
And
And
what happened?
and
And
she had a water birth.
we had a water birth with
Yeah.
her.
Mhm.
And right, but Batya, she found Moshe, found
In the
baby
water.
Moshe in the water. So there's some beautiful connections there.
Yeah.
And then lastly, our little man, baby Yosef Simcha. And so Yosef means to increase, to add, and Simcha means joy. And when we found out that we were expecting, especially we found out it was a boy, that's exactly what he did in our life. He increased so much joy in our lives. And after Basia, she felt like we weren't done yet. Like she felt that she always said that there's one more little person missing, you know?
And he's looking at me like
Yeah, I'm like, what are you saying?
we just had Basia.
Like
What
we
do you
got
mean?
five, baby. Come on now. But she was like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but Hashem, Hashem actually has the final say in everything. And we're just so grateful because we look back, we look at little Yosef, and I'm like, man, we couldn't have lived without this little face,
I
this little
know he's
guy,
the cutest. He
Um,
literally brings so much joy to our entire family.
yeah,
He's the cutest, happiest, amazing baby. Like
yeah.
he's great. We're truly blessed.
But I'll say this too. We thought about the name Yosef, and Yosef, he was called Yosef the Zadik, Yosef Hatzadik, and basically one of the main reasons why he held that name was because of his purity. He was able to descend and live in the most impure places in the world. It was Egypt, Mitzrayim. He was able to live and to descend down in that place, but all while he was there, he maintained his purity. He maintained his holiness, and he was able to withstand some of the most hard, the most challenging tests that men go through. And he was able to withstand that. And and so when I learned that, I said, you know what? I want him to be able to live in that space, to be able to grow up with that koach, grow up with that strength, just like Yosef. And to be able to know that no matter how low life may take you, just to know that you have the ability to be able to tap in to that spirituality that Yosef Hatzadik was able to tap into, to be able to maintain his strength, to be able to maintain his purity and stay close and close to Hashem. And that's why we gave him the name Yosef. And then Simcha. We want to be able to look at him and to be able to have so much joy when we look at him, and
And we
that's a
do every single time.
his face. He just smiles. It's so crazy when you name a child
Yeah.
something, like he really becomes that. Like Yosef, he's the happiest little dude ever. Like you look at him like 3 seconds, he just starts, like, he smiles,
The
and it's
biggest spot, the first thing he does in the morning
ah
when he opens his eyes is has the biggest smile. I kid you not.
oh,
Every time he sees us,
it's
it's
so amazing.
it's, it's the sweetest, cutest thing ever. He brings so much simcha to our life.
Yeah. So I'll go now,
Yes.
and then you will save the best for last.
No.
Um, so my name is Akiva Nachman, formerly known as LaDerryl Hart. That sounds crazy.
That doesn't
Um,
fit you
it
anymore at
doesn't
all.
even fit me, right? So like I've become Akiva now. So why Akiva? Besides the fact that Rebbe Akiva, he was incredible. He was a huge Torah giant, a huge Torah scholar. He contributed so much to the growth of the Jewish nation. He contributed so much to what we learn as Jews every single day. I mean, he's quoted multiple times in the Gemara. He was a major contributor, right? In so many different things. Um, his story, he started his journey at 40 years old, and I just, he grew up not liking Jews, which is crazy, right? I'm not saying I grew up like that, right? But he didn't like Jews, and but when his life started to change, he looked at some raindrops on a stone, and he looked at the stone. He said, "Wow, it's kind of unbelievable that this soft water is making an imprint, is making a dent in this stone." And he had this revelation from Hashem, and he said, "Wow, if this water can make an imprint in this stone, surely the Torah can make an imprint on my hard heart."
Mm.
And that's kind of like that's some of the beginnings of Rabbi Akiva's of his journey. And I look at that, and I literally I became a Jew in my 40th year, right? So I turned 39, this past September, right? But the way that the Jews look at it is that when you turn 39, you are entering into that 40th year, that next year, right? You
Mhm.
don't look back, right? I'm not entering into my 39th year. 38 was entering into my 39th year. So now I'm 39, I'm entering into my 40th year, and so
Yeah.
just like Rebbe Akiva, he was 40 when he started, and so I technically, kind of got started around that same time as well. Then when he started learning the alphabet. He would go to school with little kids learning the alphabet, and so that just showed, how he was able to put his pride aside and to really kind of humble himself
Mhm.
like a little child and go learn just the basic before he can learn, before he became a Torah scholar and to get all these deep concepts and ideas to understand Gemara, understand Torah law and all these things. He had to learn the alphabet.
Mm.
And so that's a constant reminder for me to never get sophisticated and to always work toward being simple. That's leads me into my next name is Nachman. Rabbi Nachman, his teachings have changed my life. And he teaches to be a simple Jew, to be simple, right? Don't serve God out of sophistication, right? We don't perform mitzvot because we understand them. We don't have to try to understand or try to logically understand a mitzvah before we do it. We perform a mitzvah because God commanded us to do it. That's why we do a mitzvah, right? And so that's what Rabbi Nachman teaches. Serve God with utter simplicity, right? It's just what we do. Rabbi Nachman's teaching have changed my life. And I'm so so grateful that that God just put Rabbi Nachman in my life through a couple different people. Shout out to my boy Lior. Lior was actually the one that he was the first person that kind of told me who Rabbi Nachman was. And so then I started learning. Then I got connected with a good friend of ours, Rabbi David Kelmis, and then that was like my first Breslov teacher, and then it was a wrap from there. But I connected with this teaching so much because he was able to take the Torah, the loftiness of the Torah, and to bring it down in such simple ways and so easy to understand. Rabbi
Mm.
Nachman's life was inspiring. He talked about that he was able to ascend to the level that he got to because he worked on himself, right? He was able to get to those levels through prayer. He talked about, this concept of heat bodedut, spending time with Hashem, spending time with
Mhm.
Hashem, spending an hour a day talking to Hashem. And he was able to attain the levels through simplicity, through talking to Hashem every single day, right? And I tried to implement it into my life and it changed my life. And so uh, before I end it, let me go back to Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva became who he was because of his wife. His wife was Rachel, and she never complained. She always encouraged him to go learn and to go out, stay longer, and go learn, go learn, go learn, go learn. And they weren't wealthy; they were actually, pretty poor. They were on some very, very hard times, and she didn't complain one time. Didn't complain one time, and she believed in Rabbi Akiva, believed in him so, so much. Didn't make him feel bad. Didn't make him feel like he wasn't taking care of his family, right? And I look back on my life and I am who I am because of my wife, just like Rabbi Akiva. And our whole time of being married, she never complained, right? We've hit some very, 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 very tough times. My wife have never made me feel less of a man. She's always encouraged me. She has always encouraged me to go get close to Hashem. Still to this day, she's like, babe, did you go do Hibodadu? Make sure you come home, eat, get your coffee, go upstairs, go do Hibodadu, right? I'll sit with the kids, right? She does that. She like, I'll be with the kids so you can go pray and so you can connect. She always made me feel amazing. And that is the main reason why I chose the name Akiva because I'm who I am because my incredible wife, Chava.
So sweet. So sweet. So I don't have like a whole like long story like he does, but
Sorry if it's too long.
no, it was beautiful. Don't apologize. It was beautiful, but I'm just saying my story is not long like that. And I think it was so long through this entire process I kept thinking about I'm like, what is gonna be my name? What is gonna be I literally didn't know my name until a week before. I think yeah, it was a week before mikvah day. But Hava has always stayed with me from like the
Mhm.
very beginning. I just kept saying Hava, Hava. Like, and I'm like, yes, I know Hava is the mother of all life, but like, why am I connected so much to Hava? And I kept telling him, I was like, I don't want a name because it sounds good or this and this. I was like, I have to have true connection and it has to be something that connects to me. And so I'm going to read because I have things written down just about Hava and just how important she was, because a lot of people don't really know like the whole like hidden things or mystical things about Hava. And there's even more I'm learning every time I tell people. Like I run into people and they're like, let me tell you, like somebody actually sent me a WhatsApp like group thing about Hava, and I haven't even got a chance to listen to it yet, which I need to go listen. She's like, you got to hear this teaching on it. So there's so many things out there, but Hava being the mother of all life, right? And learning that Hava embodies both the essence of life itself and the creative ability to grant that life to others. And so I looked at that and I'm like, wow, the creative ability to grant that to others. And I feel like what we're doing is, and I say this in the most humbling way because I feel so honored that Hashem has allowed us to have a platform to be able to share our journey and to share our life. And I feel like, we get messages all the time of people are like, wow, you guys give us so much hizuk and like just so much joy and happiness. And so I feel like that name Hava, that kind of stuck with me because of that. And then also just thinking about our children and our journey, like our Jewish journey starts with our foundation with us. So I feel like I'm giving them that whole new life, right? And it starts with us. So that's why Hava stuck with me. And then my middle name is Amuna. And Amuna, I feel like I can't even explain it, but it's just something that I have. I really trust in Hashem. Like I trust that everything that happens, whether it's good or it's bad, I just know that everything is for the good. I know that Hashem has my back. I know um that even through tough challenges, and we've been through our share of tough times, that I'm like, he's going to show up every time. And that his plan, I might not understand it right now, but it's good. It's far beyond what I can even think of, because myself can't even put together the whole thing that he's putting together for me. I can't even think about what he's even putting together for me. So I know it's good. So that's why I went with Amuna, which is faith, because I always have faith in knowing that Hashem has my back, is there for me, is there for our family, and everything is good.
Listen, the reason we have what we have in our life is because of her. Is because of her Amuna, and I think that that name just fits her so much. Like she is the epitome of Amuna. Like if you know her, like if you get a chance to like know her, and you maybe you meet her one day and you get a chance to be around her, your Amuna will grow, and you will see Amuna in action. Just how she talks, right? Her perspective, her outlook on life. She's never complaining. She's never like upset about stuff. Like if there's something that may be not looking that good, she finds the good in it, and she's like, okay, everything's from Hashem, right? Everything's good. Like what we worrying about? Like she literally, she's like the glue of the family. She keeps us. She our my wife, our wife. That was silly. My wife, is the glue. Meaning she's able to see all these different things happen in life, and to be able to find Hashem in every single aspect, and say, you know what, we got to just rely on Hashem. We got to trust him, and everything's gonna be all right. That's my wife.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So I know this is a longer video, but we owe you. We owe you, some content. So if you still here, also just type in "I'm still here," and we appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to kind of relive the things that we talked about in this video. It's
Mhm.
been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we'll never get sick of
yeah,
talking about it because it's something that we only got to do once and we cherish it and we don't ever want to forget that.
yeah.
And it keeps us very humble.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. So thank you guys so much for watching again.
yes,
Please
thank
consider
you.
subscribing if you enjoy these videos. Leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your
Yeah.
friends and family. And we just appreciate you guys coming on this journey with us. So we will see you on the next video. Have a good night, guys.